Hi, I'm Derek, this is Andy. We're standing at a beach here in Kitsilano in Vancouver, and we're going to be talking about tides. So when you look at the tides, it looks like the water's coming up and down, but it's actually the other way around. We're going in under the water. Let me explain what I mean. So the tides are created by the gravitational pull from the moon and the sun, and this pulls the Earth's water out into what's called a tidal bulge. And as the Earth turns below this bulge, it's actually the land that's going in under the water. And usually this happens twice a day, although it depends where you are in the world. So tides are usually associated with the ocean, right? We can see the tide come up and down on a beach every day. But what you might not know is that tides actually happen in any water body around the world. Smaller bodies of waters like lakes and rivers also have tides. They're just too shallow to have really big tides, so it might only be a centimeter or two throughout the day. And things like wind, or if there's a river nearby, those can have a bigger influence than the tide, so you might not even notice that the tide's coming in or out. So we mentioned that usually you have two tides coming in and out during a day, but it really depends where you are in the world. There's large tidal variations, we call them, everywhere around the planet. And it depends on the configuration of the land, the shape, all kinds of things like that. For example, on the east coast of Canada is the Bay of Fundy. This is a big, long, funnel-shaped sort of valley that the tide goes up and down in. And there's so much tidal variation that it can go up by 16 meters at high tide.
So as Derek explained, tides rely on how the ocean moves across the face of the planet. Now over time, the actual volume of the ocean changes as well. So when we have ice during the Ice Age, more of that water moves up into the ice sheets, and so the level of water drops down. So if you put the tides on top of that, that means that the tide doesn't come up as high as it would today. There's other times in Earth's history where the ice has gone completely on the planet, and so the water's higher. And what we see then is the tides would actually be a lot higher in these areas as well. So over time, we do see changes in the tide heights across BC, but we have to be looking at geological scales over thousands or even millions of years to really notice that. So another factor that can change the height of the tides when we look back in geological history is actually how far the moon is from the Earth. Well, we're right here on the ocean front right now, and one of the most obvious things with tides moving back and forth, that volume of water causes erosion. So the beaches are formed because of the tides, with material being washed up and taken away. The cliffs that are right behind us as well, that's where the tides come in. The waves manage to reach right up to the base of those cliffs and erode. So all around us, the tides are having a huge influence on how the landscape, the coastal landscape looks. So a retreating tide is also really important. As the water draws out, it draws all this nutrient-rich material that's on the beach here and takes it back out into the ocean with it. And that helps to feed and sustain the ecosystems and the animals and the plants that are living even further out in the ocean. So it helps balance the whole ecosystem that we see above water and below water. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you want to learn more, there's lots of resources out there. Go to the Minerals Ed website or the Below BC website.